Well, I got a little story to tell you. This is the first time this has happened, and this is not my favorite recording. This is one of those videos that you have a hard time with, and you can probably see what just walked by me here. But this right here is absolutely hard to watch. This is Belstar, one of our first 5 bison that we ever raised as a yearling, part of the Dunbar herd, from Gerald Parsons' bison. When we started in 2018, Belstar is one of those 4 females that I got. So I'll just tell you kind of what happened. And Marissa and Brooks and I came out here this morning and did a herd check. Actually, it's about 11 o'clock. Did a little pasture rotation. We rotated the Big Joe herd from pasture 1 to 2. When we rotated them, Marissa saw Belstar. She wasn't with the group. She came in late, and she goes, she's had a calf.
She just had a baby.
Did she? That's Belle. Did you see Peaches? And I was like, I saw some stuff hanging from her. My immediate reaction was, well, why is she leaving? And so I was thinking, well, she wouldn't leave her calf. So we drove through the pasture briefly, and I'm like thinking, you know, she didn't have a calf. I told Marissa, I said, I think she's about to have a calf. We both looked at each other and agreed. And we were like, I think she's about to have a calf. And we've never caught that on camera before, ever. We checked her, we watched her for a little bit, and she just kept walking around pacing, but she kept having the pre-birth. It was the placenta membrane that was hanging out of her. And I'm like, oh, she should be having a calf any moment. We left her alone. We went to go see the Dunbar herd and check on them and Haas. And we're like, we'll just give her time. We came back, and she was laying down like this. And still had the pre-birth, the placenta membrane hanging out of her, and with some fluid, and so she hadn't had the calf. So we just left, and I was like, well, I'll go get my drone. We were gone for an hour. Brooks fell asleep. She needed to go home for a nap, so we took Brooks home, laid her down. I grabbed the drone, came back out to the pasture. I pulled up into our main area, the trap, flew my drone, and I'm like, that's the safest way to check our bison for calves and to check and see how she's doing. So flew it, and I zoomed in, and immediately I noticed that the calf's head wasn't up and it was laying flat down. I'm like, oh man, she just had her. She just had the calf, and the calf wasn't moving. I zoomed in with the drone, still wasn't moving. She was licking on it. My first reaction was, I gotta go save it. I gotta go do something, knowing that there's probably not a good chance I'm gonna not even get close to her. So I pulled down here, and I know what I'm about to do is dangerous, and I would only ever attempt this with bison that we've raised. I wouldn't do this anywhere else. If you ever go visit bison or in a national park, never attempt this. But I pulled down here, and I kind of park in a certain angle where the calf is under me. And the only reason I attempted to do this, because I know that when you raise sheep, you know, I grew up helping raise show lambs. I used to show lambs, part of 4-H and FFA. That was my project in FFA. When those lambs are born, they need a lot of help sometimes. And you can swab their mouth out. You got to make sure all that birth sac stuff gets out of their mouth and that they're cleaned off. They're good to go. With bison, you essentially never have to do that to them. You never have to do anything. They just have red dogs, and they take care of them. You never have to hardly ever pull them or anything like that. And so I pulled down here just to get a good look, and I know my distance with her. I know I can't get too close with her, but she's calm with me. And I pulled up here easy, and I was able to sort of get up close to the calf and keep in my distance with her because she's got some gnarly horns on her. And I know I can't get my hands on her very much, but I did try to start pumping on the chest a little bit, make sure the mouth was clear and everything. I made sure to see if it even had a chance. And with keeping my distance from her and my own safety at check, I realized what we were dealing with here. You know, when you do these videos and stuff, and you promote this awesome animal, we show it all. We show, part of ranching. It doesn't matter what you're raising, any livestock. Part of ranching is dealing with life, right? Even though these are good hardy animals and whatnot, it's dealing with life, whether it's cattle, horses, sheep, goats. You deal with death. You deal with lots of problems. You deal with diseases. You deal with toxicity, and you deal with birth. You deal with your bison getting out. But in this case, we're dealing with a death, and this is our first red dog that we've ever lost. And unfortunately, this is part of raising animals. That is sad. This is very sad. And I'm sorry to bring you a sad video. And this is one of those videos that I honestly, I talked to my wife, do we show things like this? And, it's like when the bison get out, I didn't film one thing at all. It's not my proudest moment. I was proud of my bison, and I was proud of all the people that helped us get them back in. But those intense situations, my focus is those animals and the people helping. Luckily, we got them back in. I did have an emergency respond, planned if our bison got out, and it worked, and we got them back in all safe and sound. But, when you have situations like this, you're like, okay, well, do we show that? And, we're real, we're organic, we do things where, we show you what happens, the good, the bad, and the ugly part of raising animals. And right now, this is the ugly side of it. And I know I'm not the only one that goes through this, whether you raise cattle, goats, sheep, horses, or bison. I know I'm not the only one. But this right here is absolutely hard to watch.